I'm not asking for all of it, just the majority, Mum said, her voice tight with urgency, like the words physically hurt her to say. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, fingers wrapped around her coffee mug like it was the only thing keeping her upright. Her eyes were red-rimmed, her mascara smudged. I'd never seen her cry like that, not even when Grandma died. It's her life, Tatum, she whispered. Your sister is dying. That was the hook. That was the line that snapped something in me. My name is Tatum. And when I was 18, I gave up my college fund because my mom told me my sister was dying. I still remember how the kitchen smelled like burnt toast and lemon cleaner. The air was thick with panic, and London was upstairs, supposedly too weak to come down. I hadn't seen her in days. Mum said the doctors found something rare, something aggressive. She said there was a surgery, urgent, expensive, not covered. I remember asking, what about insurance? She shook her head. It's experimental. They won't touch it. I looked at Dad. He was standing near the sink, arms crossed, jaw clenched. He didn't say a word, just stared at the floor like it held the answers. I don't know what else to do, Mum said, her voice cracking. We've pulled what we can. Your college fund is the only thing left. I stared at her. That's everything I've worked for. I know, she said. And I wouldn't ask if it wasn't life or death. That was the moment. The moment I stopped being a teenager with dreams and became a daughter with obligations. I signed the release papers the next day. She cried again, hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe. I'm proud of you, she said. You're saving her life. That was 5 years ago. Now I'm 23, working the closing shift at a diner off Route 9, wearing a name tag that says Tay because my manager thinks it sounds friendlier. I share a 2-bedroom apartment with 3 roommates and a cat that isn't mine. I haven't seen London in years, but every few months I get a text from Mum. She's still recovering. It's been hard, but she's strong. I never ask for more. I stopped asking after the 2nd year. Tonight, after my shift, I'm sitting on the ripped couch in our living room, peeling off my sneakers when my phone buzzes. A notification pops up on my screen. London.ew tagged in a photo. I blink. I haven't seen her tagged in anything in months. Curiosity wins. I tap. The photo opens full screen. London is standing on a beach in Bali, golden hour lighting her face like a damn perfume ad. She's wearing a silk wrap, long legs stretched out in the sand, her hair in perfect waves. Her face looks different, sharper, almost doll-like. The caption reads, Healing looks good on me. Glow up. Island vibes. On my self-love journey. I stare at the screen. My thumb hovers over the image, then taps to the next one. She's on a yacht, champagne in hand. Then another. Some luxury spa with cucumber slices over her eyes, all posted within the last few months. I scroll back. The surgery was supposed to have happened in March, 5 years ago. I remember because I missed my senior prom that week. The photo from Bali is dated 6 months after that. I lock my phone and sit back, heart pounding. No, there has to be a mistake. Maybe she recovered quickly. Maybe the surgery worked and she's living her life now. Maybe. I open Instagram again. Go to her profile. It's private. I press the back button and stare at the last photo again. Her face, her nose, is different. Her jawline too. Not just different. Constructed. I don't sleep that night. I lie in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying every conversation from that time. Every tear my mom shed, every silent nod from my dad, every missed opportunity I swallowed because I thought I was choosing love over ambition. The next morning I call Mum. She answers on the 3rd ring. Tatum, hi sweetie. Hey, just checking in. How's London? Oh, still recovering. It's been a long road, but she's getting stronger. I pause. Is she in Bali? There's a beat of silence. What? I saw a photo. Someone tagged her. She looked healthy, really healthy. Mum exhales. Well, she's been doing some wellness retreats. That's part of her healing. You know how she is, always chasing the sun. Right, I say. She deserves it after everything she's been through. I hang up a few minutes later, my stomach twisted in knots. The way she said deserves. Like my sacrifice was just a stepping stone in London's self-love journey. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I start digging. I scroll through tagged photos, old posts, comments. I find one where someone asks about her glow up. London replies with a winking emoji and says, "A little help from science." I feel like I'm going to throw up. I don't tell anyone, not yet, not until I know more. But something inside me shifts that night. A quiet click, like a lock turning. I don't cry, I don't scream. I just sit there, staring at her face on the screen, and whisper to myself, "You lied." And I gave up everything. The next morning, I called in sick to the diner. I wasn't sick, not in the way they meant, but something was definitely broken in me now, cracked open and leaking. I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop, a mug of black coffee, and a growing list of questions. London's Instagram was private, but tagged photos weren't. I found more. A champagne brunch in Monaco, a spa in Malibu, a photo of her laughing in front of a boutique in Paris, holding 3 shopping bags and wearing sunglasses that probably cost more than my rent. Each post had that same tone, light, glamorous, untouchable. I clicked on one of the comments. "You look amazing. So happy you're thriving." London replied, "Thank you, babe. Had to go through hell to get here, but worth it." I stared at that little lipstick emoji like it was mocking me. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "Just wanted to say thank you again for all you did for your sister. She's finally starting to feel like herself again." I didn't reply. I couldn't. Instead, I pulled up my contacts and scrolled until I found him. Travis Baker, London's ex. They dated for about a year, right after her surgery. He used to come to family dinners sometimes, always polite, always a little too quiet. They broke up suddenly. No one ever said why. I hadn't talked to him since. I hesitated, then typed, "Hey, it's Tatum. Got a sec? Need to ask you something about London." 3 dots appeared almost immediately. "Hey. Wow. Yeah. What's up?" "Weird question. Back when you and London were together, was she ever really sick? Like, before her surgery?" This time the dots took longer. No, she wasn't sick. Not at all. I stared at the screen. "What do you mean, not at all?" "She told me your mum made up the story, said it was the only way you'd give up the money. She laughed about it once. Said you were too good for your own good." My hands went cold. "You're sure?" "I was there, Tatum. I saw the invoices. She got a nose job and some other stuff done. And then we went to Monaco like 3 weeks later. She said it was a post-op celebration." I didn't respond right away. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, shaking. Then another message popped up. "I still have the receipts, plane tickets, hotel bills. I held on to them after we broke up. I don't even know why." "Want me to send them?" "Yes." He emailed them within the hour. I opened the attachments slowly, like peeling back a bandage. There they were. PDFs of hotel bookings, spa treatments, a dinner reservation at a place that had a dress code and a wine list longer than my resume. All dated less than a month after she supposedly almost died. I forwarded them to myself and saved them in a folder named Truth. I sat back and stared at the screen. My heart was racing, but my body felt numb. Then I heard the front door open. "Hey," said Kayla, one of my roommates. She dropped her gym bag on the floor. "You okay? You look like you saw a ghost." I forced a smile. "Just tired." She walked to the fridge, grabbed a LaCroix, and popped the tab. "Want to go out tonight? Jenna's DJing at that rooftop place." "Can't. Got stuff to do." She raised an eyebrow. "You never go out." I didn't answer. She shrugged and went to her room. I turned back to my laptop and opened London's Instagram again. I looked at her face, her smile, the way she posed like the world owed her something. Then I clicked on Mum's profile. She didn't post much, but her bio still said, "Proud mother of 2 strong, beautiful daughters, faith, family, sacrifice." Sacrifice. I opened our last text thread. My thumbs hovered over the keyboard. "How exactly is London still recovering if she's been travelling the world for years?" I hit send. A minute later she replied, "Sweetheart, healing isn't linear. She's been through so much. Don't be bitter. You did a beautiful thing." I gave up my future. "You gave your sister life." I stared at the message. Then I typed, "No." I gave her a new face and a first-class ticket to Monaco. I didn't wait for a reply. Instead, I opened a new tab and started searching. I wasn't sure for what yet. Maybe a name, a receipt, a clue, anything. I didn't know where this was going, but I knew one thing for sure. They thought I'd never find out. They were wrong. The receptionist at Mitchell Aesthetics had a voice like a cheerleader and the energy of a triple espresso. "Hi, thanks for calling Dr. Mitchell's office. How can I help you today?" I cleared my throat. "Hi. I'm doing a piece for a blog about cosmetic trends and recovery timelines. I was wondering if I could get some general info about rhinoplasty packages. Pricing? Estimated recovery? That kind of thing?" "Oh, totally. I can email you our latest brochure with all the details, including procedure timelines, average costs, and post-op care." "That would be amazing. Thank you. Can I get your name and email?" I gave her a fake last name and my real burner email. She chirped a thank you and hung up. 5 minutes later, the email came through. I opened the PDF and scanned the document. Rhinoplasty. $15,000, $21,000, depending on complexity. Optional add-ons for chin contouring, lip fillers, and non-invasive facial harmonization. Recovery. 10-14 days for public appearance, 4 to 6 weeks for full healing. I clicked through the file until I found a sample invoice. The logo matched the one from Travis's receipts. I leaned back in my chair. My laptop screen glowed in the dark room. The only sound was the hum of the fridge behind me. It wasn't enough. I needed more. I needed proof tied to my money. I grabbed my bag and headed to my parents' house the next morning. I hadn't been there in over a year. Mom said she was taking London to a wellness retreat in Sedona. Dad would be home. He always was. He opened the door with a surprised blink. "Tatum? Hey, Dad!" He stepped aside slowly. "Come in." The house looked exactly the same. Family portraits on the wall, the same beige couch, the same dusty fake plant in the corner. I walked straight to the hallway. "Wait, what are you doing?" he asked, trailing behind me. I didn't answer. I went into the office, sat at the old desktop, and powered it on. It took forever to boot up. Dad stood in the doorway. "Is everything okay?" "I just need to check something." He didn't stop me. He didn't ask again. He just stood there, rubbing his hands together like he was cold. Once the computer loaded, I opened the browser and clicked on saved passwords. London's email was still logged in. So was Mum's. I opened Mum's inbox and searched Mitchell. My breath caught. There it was. Subject: Payment confirmation, Mitchell Aesthetics. I clicked. The email was dated March 14th, 5 years ago, the day after I signed over my college fund. Transfer of $19,800 received. Procedure scheduled for March 20th. Recipient: Elizabeth Patient, London. I took a screenshot and emailed it to myself. Then I searched account transfer. Another hit. Subject: Custodial withdrawal request approved. Amount: $20,000 from Tatum's college fund to Elizabeth, custodial guardian. I clicked again. The approval was time-stamped 3 hours after our kitchen table conversation. I leaned back, hands shaking. "Dad," I said without turning around. "Did you know?" He didn't answer. I turned to look at him. His face was pale. "I didn't know the whole plan," he said quietly. "Just that the money wasn't going to a hospital." "So you knew it was a lie?" "I thought it was for therapy. Maybe something to help her mental health. Your mum said it was complicated. She stole from me." He looked at the floor. "I didn't know how to stop it." I stood up. "You didn't even try." He didn't follow me when I walked out. Back at my apartment, I opened a new folder on my laptop and labelled it Evidence. I dropped in screenshots, PDFs, emails, photos. I colour-coded everything by date. I made a spreadsheet. March 13th, Mom asks for money. March 14th, custodial transfer approved. March 20th, rhinoplasty scheduled. April 10th, London in Bali. May 3, Monaco trip with Travis. I cross-checked it all with Instagram timestamps and tagged photos. I found a post where London checked into Glow House Beverly Hills for a lip filler touch-up. Another where she thanked a skin sculptor in New York. The pattern was clear. Every few months, another enhancement, another trip, another lie. I stared at the spreadsheet. Then I called Aunt Ruby. She picked up on the second ring. Tatum. Hi, I need to ask you something. Okay. Do you remember when Mom told everyone London was sick? She hesitated. I remember it didn't feel right. She wasn't sick. It was plastic surgery. They used my college fund. There was silence. I have proof, I said. Receipts, transfers, emails. Ruby exhaled sharply. Jesus. I'm not telling you this for sympathy. I'm telling you because I'm going to do something about it. What do you need from me? There's a family reunion next month, at the lodge. I know. Your mum's been planning it for weeks. She's calling it a celebration of resilience and recovery. Ruby laughed bitterly. Of course she is. I'm going to show everyone what really happened. There was a pause. I'll be there, Ruby said. Whatever you need. I hung up and stared at the screen again. The folder was growing. The truth was getting louder. They wanted a celebration. Fine. I'd give them one they'd never forget. I set up the projector on my kitchen table, dimmed the lights, and clicked through the slides. Slide 1. A photo of me in London at the beach when we were kids. We're both smiling, sunburned, wrapped in towels. The title above it read, How I Paid to Save My Sister's Life. Slide 2. The invoice from Mitchell Aesthetics. 19 eyes at 800 $, rhinoplasty. Slide 3. A screenshot of the bank transfer from my college fund signed by Mum. I clicked through slowly, checking transitions, fonts, everything. I wanted it clean. Precise. No room for doubt. Kayla walked in halfway through and stopped in the doorway. What's this? I minimized the presentation. Nothing. Just putting something together for the reunion. She raised an eyebrow. That thing your mom's hosting? The resilience and recovery party? Yeah. She took a sip from her smoothie. Sounds like a cult meeting. I laughed once, sharp. You have no idea. The next day, I met Ruby at a diner halfway between our towns. She slid into the booth across from me, took one look at my face and said, You've been busy. I have everything, I said, handing her a flash drive. Bank records, emails, receipts, even Instagram timestamps. She took it and tucked it into her purse without looking. You're really doing this? I'm not just doing it for me. I want them to feel it. I want them to sit in it. Ruby nodded slowly. You're your mother's daughter in all the best ways. I blinked. That's the first time anyone said that, and it didn't feel like an insult. She smiled. I'll be there. I'll sit right up front. The week before the reunion, I called Mum. Hi, sweetheart, she chirped. So glad you called. I wasn't sure if you were coming. I'll be there, I said. I want to support London. Oh, that means so much. She's been through so much. You know how hard these years have been for her. I do, I said flatly. She's speaking at the end, but if you want to say something too, maybe a little tribute, about sisterhood, that would be lovely. Yeah, I said. I'll prepare something. The pause on the other end was brief, but I caught it. Wonderful, she said. I'm so glad we're reconnecting. I smiled, even though she couldn't see it. Me too, Mum. The day of the reunion, I packed the projector, the USB, and a remote clicker into my tote bag. I wore a simple black dress and flats, nothing flashy. I wanted to look like the girl they wrote off, quiet, forgettable, let them underestimate me one last time. The lodge was decorated like a Pinterest board exploded. Fairy lights, pastel streamers, framed photos of London through the years. There was even a table with a guest book labelled Messages of Hope for London. I signed it. Hope you kept the receipts. Tea. People were already mingling when I walked in. I spotted Ruby near the buffet table, sipping from a wine glass. She gave me a small nod. Mum came over a minute later, arms wide. Tatum, look at you. I hugged her. She smelled like Chanel and a manipulation. You look beautiful, she said. London's upstairs getting ready. She's so excited you came. I wouldn't miss it. She beamed. We're doing the speeches after dinner. I'll introduce you before London's part. Perfect. Dinner was a blur. I barely tasted the food. I watched people laugh, clink glasses, take selfies in front of a floral backdrop that said resilience. Then Mom tapped her glass. Everyone, can I have your attention? The room quieted. Thank you all for being here to celebrate this incredible journey. London has faced challenges most of us could never imagine, but through faith, family and sacrifice, she's come out stronger. She looked at me when she said sacrifice. I smiled. She's a survivor, Mum continued. And before she speaks, her sister Tatum has something she'd like to share. I stood up, walked to the front and plugged in the USB. The projector flickered to life on the wall behind me. Hi, I said. Thanks for being here. I put together something to honour my sister's journey. It's called How I Paid to Save My Sister's Life. Click. The first slide came up. The beach photo. People smiled. Click. The invoice. Click. The bank transfer. The room shifted. Chairs creaked. Someone coughed. This, I said, is what I gave up. My college fund. My future. Because I was told my sister was dying. Click. A photo of London in Bali. Click. A receipt from Glow House, Beverly Hills. Click. A screenshot of her Instagram comment. A little help from science, dolls. I turned to face the room. She wasn't sick. She got a nose job, lip fillers, spa trips, first-class flights to Monaco, and my mother helped her do it. She used her custodial rights to transfer my money without my consent. Gasps. One woman put her hand over her mouth. Click. Final slide. The email from Mitchell Aesthetics. Payment confirmed. Patient. London. Sender. Elizabeth. London stormed in from the hallway, heels clicking like gunshots. What the hell is this? I didn't flinch. The truth. Mum stood up, face white. Tatum, stop this right now. I already filed charges, I said. 3 weeks ago. Fraud. Identity theft. 2 subpoenas were sent this morning. The room exploded in whispers. I just thought, I said, if we're going to celebrate resilience, we should be honest about what it took. Ruby stood and walked to my side, quiet and steady. We'll let the authorities handle this, she said. But I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. I looked at London. Her mouth opened, then closed. She turned and walked out. I clicked the projector off. The truth was out, and it was louder than any lie they'd ever told. The aftermath hit like a slow-moving train. People didn't rush out of the lodge. They lingered, whispering in tight circles, glancing between me and the now empty podium. Some looked stunned. Some looked like they wanted to clap but weren't sure if it was appropriate. I walked off the stage, past the stunned silence of my mother, and straight to the back of the room. Ruby followed. You okay? She asked, handing me a glass of water. Yeah, just waiting for the fallout. Don't worry, that's already started. I looked over and saw Aunt Denise cornering Mum by the dessert table, her voice sharp and low. A few cousins hovered nearby, listening. London was nowhere to be seen. I stepped outside for air. The night was cool, the lake behind the lodge still and black. I leaned against the railing and let myself breathe. Footsteps behind me. I turned. Dad. He didn't say anything at first, just stood there, hands in his pockets, staring out at the water like it held answers. I saw the whole thing, he said quietly. I know. I should have stopped it, back then. I didn't respond. The silence stretched. I remember the day your mom asked you, he went on. I remember thinking, this isn't right, but I didn't say anything. I thought, maybe it was for the best. Maybe London really needed it. She didn't. I know that now. I turned to face him. You could have said something. You were the adult. You were my dad. I still am, he said, voice cracking. No, you're just a man who watched it happen. He flinched, but I didn't care. I walked past him and back inside. London had returned. She was standing near the bar, red-eyed but still trying to hold court. A few of her influencer friends hovered nearby, unsure if they should stay. I walked past her like she was invisible. The next day, the video was online. I didn't post it. I didn't need to. Someone at the reunion, probably one of the younger cousins, had recorded the whole thing. It hit TikTok first, then Twitter, then Instagram. The title was simple. Girl exposes her family's lies at recovery party. By noon, it had over 200,000 views. By nightfall, it passed 1 million. Comments flooded in. This is the most savage thing I've ever seen. Justice for Tatum. Karma wears heels and carries receipts. By the 3rd day, London's sponsors started dropping her. I got a text from Travis. Saw the video. Holy shit. Proud of you. 3 days after that, I got a call from a woman named Marla. She said she was a friend of Ruby's and ran a scholarship fund for women who'd faced family financial abuse. "I saw your presentation," she said. "I think you'd be a great candidate." I cried after I hung up. I hadn't cried in weeks. A week later, I packed my things. I was moving into a small studio near campus. Classes started in the fall. I was going back. The day before I left, my phone rang. "Mum." I let it go to voicemail. Then it rang again. "Dad." I picked up. "Hey," he said. "Can we talk?" I don't think there's anything left to say. I wanted to tell you I'm sorry. I know that's not enough." "It's not." "Okay," he said quietly. "I understand." He didn't call again. London tried to DM me once. All it said was, "Incredibly money. You ruined my life." I didn't reply. I screenshotted it and saved it in the folder labelled Proof. A week into school, I was walking across campus with a coffee when a girl stopped me. "Hey," she said. "Are you the one from the video? The family thing?" I nodded, unsure what was coming. She smiled. "You're a badass." Then she walked away. I stood there for a second, letting the words sink in. Badass. That wasn't what I felt like when I gave up everything. It wasn't what I felt like when I worked double shifts just to afford rent. It wasn't what I felt like when I sat alone on my birthday, watching London post spa selfies. But now? Yeah, maybe I was. I used to think karma would get them. Turns out, sometimes karma just needs a little push. Consider this a shove. The knock came at 7:42 a.m. I was halfway through a bowl of cereal in my new apartment, hair still wet from the shower, when someone banged on my door like they meant business. I opened it to find a woman in a navy blazer holding a clipboard. Behind her stood a man in a grey suit with a badge clipped to his belt. "Are you Tatum?" "Yes." "I'm Investigator Reed. This is Agent Hall. We're with the Financial Crimes Division. We just need to confirm a few details from your report." I blinked. "Now?" "If you've got a minute." I stepped aside and let them in. They didn't sit. Reed flipped open her clipboard and scanned the top page. "We've reviewed the documentation you submitted, bank transfers, email correspondence, and medical invoices. We've also received corroborating statements from a Travis Baker and a Ruby Hunt." I nodded. They were both there. They saw it happen. Hall pulled out a small tablet and tapped the screen. "We've already issued a subpoena to Mitchell Aesthetics. We're waiting on the clinic's full payment records. But based on what we've seen so far, this qualifies as custodial fraud and identity misuse." "She used my college fund," I said. "I didn't even know she had access to it until I saw the transfer." Reed looked up. "Your mother was listed as the custodial guardian on the account. Legally, she could access the funds, but only for your benefit. Cosmetic surgery for your sister doesn't qualify." "She told me London was dying," I said. "I gave it up because I thought I was saving her life." Reed's face softened. "You're not the first person we've seen manipulated like this. But you're one of the few who documented it this thoroughly." Hall added, "That presentation you gave, it's already circulating in legal circles. People are calling it textbook fraud exposure." I swallowed. "What happens now?" Reed closed the clipboard. "We'll be in touch, but I can tell you this, there'll be consequences for both of them." They left as quickly as they came. By noon, I got a text from Ruby. "Your mum just called me. She's panicking. Said someone from the States showed up at her door." I replied, "Good, she should panic." Later that evening, I got a call from Jenna, my old co-worker at the diner. "Girl, have you seen London's Instagram?" "No." She went live. She's crying, like full meltdown, saying people are twisting the truth and trying to destroy her. I opened my phone and pulled it up. London's face filled the screen, mascara streaked, lips trembling, the background a sterile white wall that looked like a hotel. I never meant for this to happen," she was saying. "People don't understand the pressure I was under, the pain I felt. I didn't lie. I didn't tell the whole story." The comments were brutal. "You stole your sister's future." "You're crying in a hotel while she worked 2 jobs." This is what entitlement looks like. The live ended abruptly. I turned off my phone and stared at the ceiling. The next day, I was walking across campus when someone tapped my shoulder. "Hey," said a guy in a hoodie. "You're Tatum, right?" I nodded. "I'm in your psych class. Just wanted to say what you did. That was brave." Thanks. He smiled and kept walking. I got that a lot now. People recognizing me, whispering. A few even asked for interviews. I said no to all of them. I didn't want to be famous. I just wanted my life back. That weekend, I met Ruby for brunch. She slid into the booth, sunglasses on, and ordered a mimosa before even saying hello. So, she said, your mum's lawyer called me. I raised my eyebrows. She's trying to claim she didn't understand the legal boundaries of the account, said it was a family decision. I laughed once. A family of 2. She's scrambling. London's been dropped by 3 brands. One of them asked me for a statement. What did you say? I told them the truth. Ruby sipped her drink and leaned in. You know, when you were little, I always thought you were the quiet one, the soft one. But you've got steel in you, girl. I learnt from the best, she smiled. Damn right you did. After brunch, I walked back to my apartment and checked my email. There was a message from Marla, the woman from the scholarship fund. Hi. Tatum, we've reviewed your application and are thrilled to offer you a full academic scholarship for the next 2 years. Your resilience and documentation were beyond impressive. Welcome aboard. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I called Kayla. Hey, she said. What's up? I got it, the scholarship. She screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away. Holy shit, you're a legend! I laughed. I'm just getting started. That night, I sat on my tiny balcony, sipping tea and watching the city lights flicker. They thought they could lie and move on. They thought I'd stay quiet, but I didn't. And I wouldn't. Because the truth doesn't just come out. Sometimes you have to drag it into the light. The lawyer's office smelled like lemon polish and tension. I sat across from a woman in a navy blouse who introduced herself as Ms. Carter. Her desk was lined with neat stacks of paper and a framed photo of a golden retriever. Thanks for coming in, Tatum, she said, folding her hands. We're representing the state in the matter of Elizabeth and London. I wanted to walk you through what's happening next. I nodded. Okay. She pulled a folder from the stack and opened it. We've confirmed the misuse of custodial funds. The paper trail is solid. Your mother's access to the account was legal, but only under the assumption she was acting in your best interest. Using the money for cosmetic surgery for your sister, that's a breach. What does that mean exactly? It means we're pursuing charges, fraud, misappropriation of funds, and potential identity misuse, depending on how the documents were signed. And London. She benefited directly from the fraud. She's being investigated for complicity. If we can prove she knew the money was stolen, she could face charges too. I sat back in the chair, heart thudding. Ms. Carter gave me a small, measured smile. I know this is a lot. No, I said. It's not enough. She nodded. We'll do everything we can. That night, I got a text from my dad. Can we talk, please, just once? I stared at it for a while, then typed, Fine, tomorrow, noon, coffee shop on 6th. The next day, I walked in and found him already sitting at a corner table, 2 coffees in front of him. He stood up as I approached. Tatum. I sat down without hugging him. You wanted to talk. He looked older, tired. His hands trembled slightly as he pushed the coffee toward me. I know I failed you, he said. You did. I didn't stop her. I didn't protect you. I thought it would blow over, that you'd move on. I didn't. I see that now. I stared at him. You watched it happen. You watched me give up everything. And you said nothing. I was scared, he said quietly. Your mother, she can be persuasive, controlling. She's a liar. He didn't argue. I'm not here to forgive you, I said. I'm here so you can say what you need to say. Then I'm done. He nodded. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. And I'm proud of you. Even if I don't deserve to be. I stood. You're right. You don't. I left the coffee untouched. When I got home, I opened Instagram. London's account was still active, though the follower count had dropped by nearly half. Her latest post was a black square with a caption, taking time to heal. Please respect my privacy. The comments were brutal. You should have thought about that before you stole from your sister. Healing from what? Getting caught? Tatum deserves better. I closed the app. Later that week, I got a call from a reporter. Hi, I'm with Channel 7. We're doing a segment on financial abuse within families. Would you be willing to talk on record? No, I said. But you can use the video. That's all anyone needs to see. The reporter thanked me and hung up. 2 days later, the story aired. They blurred my face but played the audio of my presentation. The segment ended with a quote from Ms. Carter. This case is a reminder that even those closest to us can betray our trust. But justice doesn't always come quietly. I got messages all night from strangers. Some shared their own stories. Some just said thank you. One girl wrote, "You gave me the courage to confront my dad. I thought I was alone. I'm not. Thank you." I read that one twice. Ruby called the next morning. "Your mum got served," she said. "She tried to act like it was a mistake. Said she'd never intentionally harm her daughter. She signed the transfer." "Yeah. And now she's facing real consequences." I leaned against the wall, staring out the window. "She's still your mother," Ruby said gently. "She was supposed to be mine, not just London's." "I know." We were quiet for a moment. "You did the right thing," she said. "I know." That weekend, I walked past a bookstore downtown and saw a display in the window. Reclaiming Power, Stories of Financial Abuse and Recovery. Inside, a flyer taped to the wall announced a panel discussion. My name was listed among the speakers. I hadn't agreed to it yet. I took the flyer down and folded it into my pocket. Outside, the air smelled like rain. I wasn't sure what came next, but I knew one thing. They thought they could bury me, but I was never the one who needed hiding. They were. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. No towering ceilings or dramatic lighting, just beige walls, squeaky chairs, and a judge who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. Still, it was real, and it was happening. I sat in the front row with Ruby beside me. She wore her signature red lipstick and a blazer sharp enough to cut glass. She didn't say much, just rested her hand on mine when the bailiff called the session to order. Mum walked in first. Her heels tapped across the tile like she still thought this was a brunch. She wore a navy dress and her pearls. She didn't look at me. London followed, head down, sunglasses still on indoors. Her hair was pulled back tight, and for once her face didn't look camera-ready. They sat at the defendant's table. Their lawyer whispered something, and Mum nodded without blinking. The judge cleared his throat. "We're here today to address charges of custodial fraud and unauthorised use of funds belonging to Tatum." He paused, glanced at the paperwork. "The plaintiff." I didn't flinch. I just stared straight ahead. The prosecutor stood. "Your Honour, we have documented evidence of a custodial account being misused by the guardian, Elizabeth, and the funds being funneled directly into elective cosmetic procedures for the benefit of her other daughter, London. The plaintiff was misled under false pretences of a medical emergency. We have bank records, signed transfers, and corroborating testimony." He clicked a remote. The screen behind him lit up. Slide 1. The same beach photo of me in London. A few people in the courtroom murmured. Slide 2. The invoice from Mitchell Aesthetics. Slide 3. The transfer from my college fund. The judge looked over his glasses. "Is this accurate?" Mum stood. "Your Honour, I didn't." "Please answer yes or no." She hesitated. "Yes. But I didn't mean..." "Thank you, sit down." London shifted in her seat, arms crossed tight. The judge turned to me. "Do you wish to speak?" I stood. My voice was steady. "I was 18. I had a full ride waiting at State, but it didn't cover everything. My parents set up a fund for the rest. When my mom told me my sister was dying, I gave it up. I thought I was saving someone's life." I looked at London. She wasn't dying. She was getting a new nose, and a new face, and a new life, funded by mine. I sat down. The room was silent. The judge leaned back. "I've reviewed the evidence. It's clear this was not an honest mistake. The misuse of custodial funds is a serious offence. I'm referring this case to civil court for restitution and ordering a full review of Elizabeth's financial activities." Mum's mouth fell open. "As for London," the judge continued, "we'll determine her level of involvement during the civil proceedings. But let me be clear, benefiting from fraud, even passively, carries weight." He banged the gavel once. "Court adjourned!" Outside, reporters waited. I kept walking. Ruby caught up to me on the steps. "You did it." "I know," she smiled. "You want to get pancakes?" "I want to sleep for a week." We laughed. Later that night, I got a call from a number I didn't recognise. "Hello? Tatum?" "London." I didn't say anything. I wanted to say I didn't know it would go this far. You knew what you were spending. I didn't think they'd come after us like this. I'm losing everything. My brand deals, my followers. You stole from me. I didn't take it. Mom did. You spent it. There was a pause. I was jealous, she said quietly. You were always the smart one, the one with a future. I wanted something that was mine. You took mine. I know. I waited. I'm sorry, she said. I hung up. No rage, no tears, just a click. I didn't need her apology. I didn't need anything from her anymore. The next morning, I walked into class with my laptop under one arm and a coffee in my hand. A girl I barely knew waved me over. Hey, she said. You're Tatum, right? Yeah. I saw your story. My cousin went through something similar. You're kind of a hero in our group chat. I laughed. I'll take it. She smiled. Want to sit with us? Sure. I slid into the seat beside her and opened my laptop. Life didn't magically fix itself. I still had bills. I still had late-night study sessions and cheap takeout and roommates who left dishes in the sink. But I had something else now too. Peace. I used to think karma would get them. Turns out sometimes karma wears heels, carries a flash drive and doesn't flinch, and sometimes it's not karma at all. It's just me.